So the Mortar got huge buffs recently, and today I wanted to check them out. I wanted to see how good this new Mortar is, and we're going to be doing it on Spillway. The way I just started this one, by the way, is I think you can get away with just buying like a ninja, then you go for the Seeking Shuriken, and especially because the Seeking Shuriken now gives extra range, it should be even more reliable than before. So let's just wait for this round to end, and I think you can just do it like, yes, you can just do it like this, and it's gonna win. Yeah, there we go. So talking about the Mortar, this was a very interesting tower to me, and I feel like people are not using the Mortar just because it has the micro aspect, and whatever has a micro thingy in it, people tend to not use it. But if you make the tower good enough, then people might actually start using it, and I feel like that's what's happening, especially with the bottom crosspath. So let's go over the changes, so let's see what's new. And before moving on with the balance changes, I just wanted to remind you guys to use code EthanReed in the Bloons store if you plan on buying anything. It really helps the channel a lot. So what happened with the Mortar, and what's this whole deal? Well, first off, the price of the big one, which is the 4th tier Mortar, got decreased by 1,500. That is almost a 20% price reduction. That's really important because now when we're talking about the mid game, you can get it a lot earlier. But also the burning stuff damage got increased. Now what does this mean with the burning stuff damage getting increased? Well, when you crosspat the big one, when you buy a 402 Mortar, the burning stuff gets applied and also gets a lot stronger the more you upgrade the top pad. So now the 402 does a lot more damage, and this is actually really important because this is exactly what makes this tower very good. The 402 very good versus mob class Bloons. So that's something the 420 sucks versus. Okay, so let me just have Striker Jones like this. I really want him to be able to attack in the middle as well, and I think this should be fine, right? I'm only bringing Striker Jones for the Mortar so that it gives it attack speed, but also there's something really important that happened with the balance changes that we must mention, and that is that the damage type for the big one got changed from normal to explosive. And now what that means is that this Mortar used to be able to pop Black Bloons, Zebras, and DDTs by default once you've upgraded to the big one and further up, and now it no longer does that, and that's very important. So now Striker Jones or an MIB Village is a necessity with these strategies, and that's why I brought Striker Jones. Actually, he also got some interesting changes recently, if you guys have heard about those, especially with this tower called the Permaspike. So why am I going for the bottom crosspath instead of the middle one? Well, the answer is in the 4th tier, and I'm not exactly sure which 5th tier is better, but I do know that the 402 is better than the 420, and the reason is because of this Bernie stuff. So and the difference with the 5th tier, by the way, is because it gains the stun effect. And so when you compare the stun effect, when you pair the stun effect with the attack speed, it means it's gonna stun mob class Bloons and it's gonna keep them in place for longer, right? And it's gonna do the damage. It's gonna do more damage because they're being stunned more often. But the bottom crosspath is actually a lot better versus mob class Bloons. And oh my god, it's round 38 and we can buy the big one. Would we have been able to buy this with the old one? Maybe with the cash around 39. I'm not exactly sure, but we're gonna buy this thing, and this 42 is a lot better versus mob class Bloons. In fact, this thing demolishes mobs, and you guys can test this if you wanted to. You guys can see how strong this burning stuff is versus mob class Bloons. So this is essentially a complete tower, the 402. But yeah, when it comes to the 5th tier, I'm not sure which one is better, but we need the 402 because it scales better into the mid game, and it's a self-sufficient tower, right? It's an all-in-one tower which can deal with everything, and if you pair it with Striker Jones, you're going to be completely fine. Now look at that. Did you guys see that DPS? It evaporated everything. That's the new buff, which is 7 DPS, and 7 DPS is like what? It's not a rainbow, but it's what, like a zebra. That's the DPS. It can just boom. It does the 1 damage tick and a zebra is gone. That's a lot of damage. So let's give this thing some camo detection. Let's give it a little bit of extra attack speed, and I feel like, you know what? Let's try and leave this thing and see how far it's gonna go. So I'm only gonna give it the basics, and when I mean the basics, I'm just meaning that I'm gonna give it a Berserker Brew. I'm probably gonna get it actually to stronger Simulant just because it's a little bit of extra attack speed. Actually, you know what? I'm not even gonna give it this thing. Let's just keep it like this: a 300 Alchemist, a 402 Mortar, and I'm just gonna have it targeting like this, and let's see how good this thing is. And honestly, do I even need to tell you guys how good this tower is? This is around 49, and we bought this tower around 38, I think it was, when we were able to afford the 402 big one, and that's around 49. And watch what's gonna be happening with these mobs. So you don't have to touch. I mean, this is, I have to be honest, this is a little bit because of the map that we're playing on, but as soon as this next mob, as soon as this guy starts coming out, look at this thing, I don't think that I have to micro the Mortar. I think that it's just gonna, yep, exactly. Yep, that's exactly what's gonna be happening. I want to see what's gonna happen around like 54 or 57, 58, so I'm actually going to see you guys in a second. Okay, so 54 is incoming, and the reason I wanted to see this is because it has ceramics and mobs, and this is, by the way, pretty much the most difficult thing that you're going to see in the 50s, and it is handling these guys with no problem. 55, a bunch of ceramics, but this thing is, oh my god, look at that DPS go down. I mean, come on, guys. Okay, let's watch 57. So 57 has 2 mobs coming out at the same time, but these small balloons are not an issue. So I feel like unless the thing that takes this tower down is going to be a mob class balloon, but which one is the question? So normal mobs don't seem to be an issue. So let's watch what's going to happen around 60. I'm not going to micro it as soon as the BFB comes out, just because I want to see if it's good enough to deal with the BFB by itself. But if it's not, it's just going to be a small amount of micro, right? Maybe we can do something about it. So here it comes. I'm not even going to use a striker ability or anything like that. Let's just chill for a second. I mean, it does a lot of damage to the BFB. Let's be honest. This thing is just wiping the BFB by itself. And as soon as you get to the Moabs... Oh no, it's... Never mind. Nope, never mind. That was... I know that it was kind of close with the DPS, but we can fix that by just upgrading the Alchemist to Stronger Stimulant. Just see how we do versus 45 mobs first. I think that this might be a little bit of an issue for this tower, I'm gonna be honest. Yep, there we go. Okay, so we know the 45 mobs are a problem for this tower, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use the stun. Oh, and the stun didn't actually... I'm gonna use Striker's level 7 ability just to kind of guide the Mortar through this thing. So let me just do it like this. Where do you guys go out? Oh my god. One more? Stun? Yes, there we go. And 63 should not even be an issue, right? Because of, yep, just because of the extra DPS. Okay, so here's what I was thinking. Let me get an overclock for this thing, and let's see how much of a difference an overclock is going to make. So the 4th tier cannot stun mob class balloons, but the 5th tier can. So let me just overclock this thingy before, because I know that we just had the money for it, but what if you overclock this tower? Like, do you have to care about BFBs if you overclock it? When does this thing lose? And I feel like you don't. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not even close, guys. I mean, come on, what kind of a super cheap setup is this? Of course, this is like a niche tower which you can only use in specific... Like, I wouldn't use this tower, let's say... Oh, let's just see if it deals with the 45. I think it does now when it's overclocked. Yep, no problem. Yeah, I wouldn't use this tower on a map like, let's say, Mesa or Erosion, right? Because it's just straight lines. But on a map like this, on maps that have bends, I mean, this tower just became a lot better. So I would really feel confident in using this thing. And it's just like a 402 with, I mean, look at how simple this setup is. It's just like we started with a Ninja, we went for the Mortar. The whole thing is super cheap. It's super strong in the early, in the mid game. It does everything with versus all types of balloons. And you can just get an overclock. Or if you're playing on a good enough map, you don't even have to go for your overclock. You just get the biggest one. So I'm really happy about what I'm seeing with this tower so far. But I'm going to see you guys in a second when we have the money for this. Okay, so 75, a key round for this tower, because if you beat this one, then you're probably good all the way up to 79. But yeah, these guys are kind of, they're doing a lot of circles in the middle, but I feel like the Pierce is not an issue. It's already overclocked, and I'm not touching Striker Jones, so we're not going to be using the ability. It's just the overclock. And so if this tower succeeds in beating this round, then you know that this is like green light to let me just, I'm kind of scared for these last ones. When are these guys going out? Where are they going up? Never mind. I was scared for nothing. Yeah, this tower is just way too good. It's super cheap. I mean, keep in mind, this is a tower that we bought on round 38. I mean, come on, guys. And it's already destroying everything up to 77. It's probably going to be... We have the money, but let's just not touch it until we get to 79. Because I feel like it is going to lose to the 45 BFBs unless we micro it. But I feel like that's going to be the point at which you kind of want to upgrade it anyways, because it's not going to do well versus free play, right? Yeah, I mean, just look at what it does. It just wipes everything as long as you overclock it. This is just such a cool tower. It's such a better tower than it used to be. It's actually insane. So let me just keep overclocking it. I'm going to get the biggest one. And yeah, I think that we can just comfortably go into free play now, and I think that that's where we're gonna start seeing the first problems. Okay, so it's round 89, and this tower is not budging. And honestly, I didn't think it was gonna budge, at least not now. But I do want to finish this game with a couple of towers in mind. So first off, if I can get to the homeland defense, I would love to do that, because this is gonna be extra attack and pops. And let me just overclock it, by the way, and we're going to have DDTs around 90. So I feel like if we see any issues with this tower, it's probably going to be either on like 45 DDT rounds, or I don't know. I feel like we're not going to have an issue with this, with the normal DDTs, right? Because they can get stunned as well. So I don't feel like this is an issue. I feel like maybe we want to watch rounds like, for example, 91, 92, and then these big ones like 94, because I feel like the next threat for this tower is going to be the Pierce cap getting overloaded, actually. So, okay, so 94, huge RB, one of those rounds, and here's what I'm going to do. Do we want to overclock it? Yeah, sure, let's overclock it. What's Striker's level? So he's level 20, so now we can activate his level 10 ability to get doubled pops, and we also have the village ability, but is this even necessary? It's not, right? I mean, come on, guys. This isn't even funny. Look at how good this thing is. I'm not even clicking any abilities. I do have a lot of them. I'm not clicking anything, and this is just evaporating all of these guys. The overclock right now, I'm not even going to replenish it. I don't think this is going to be necessary. Yep, there we go. That was round 94, by the way. Just a 502 Mortar, which was getting buffed by an Overclock for like 80% of that round, and it's just under like a... It has a 4-0 Alchemist and a Jungle Jumps buff. Like, that's about it. And 95, so let's just give it the Overclock and not do anything else and see if this is going to be enough. And I think that everyone knows the answer to that question. If it's going to be enough, because this is just it's such a good tower, man. We're playing on a map that's meant for the Mortar. I think the Spillway actually came out in the same update as the Mortar, if I'm not mistaken, which is a very long time ago. So I might be wrong with that one, but I feel like that's the case. But come on, guys. I mean, this bottom path Mortar is just so good if you're playing on Chimp's mode. Especially, you don't even need for the Bloons to take this many turns. I mean, you can imagine of all things, don't just look at the things that we have, just think about the things that we don't have. So, for example, we don't have a glue on the field, which is just a must in these Chimp runs. We don't have a single boomerang, which is a must in these Chimp runs. We don't have any ice towers to slow these guys down. We don't have any snipers. We don't have anything. We don't have a Sabo. We're not doing anything to these Bloons, which is just the you know, the going all out way. You just do as much damage as possible. I just bought the homeland, by the way, because why not? Okay, so this is gonna be 98, and I want to go all out in this round, which means Overclock, Striker Jones level 10 ability, and homeland defense. And let's just, I'm gonna wait a little bit longer for these UMGs to go in, and let's go, go. And let's watch this Mortar just demolish everything. That's going to be a lot of damage. I don't want to click the Mortar. I just want to watch. I don't want to see what's happening. I'm not even going to click the level 3 Striker Jones ability. This is round 98. One of the round with the most RB in the game. And yes, there we go. There it goes. That was round 98. Thank you for, I guess, thanks for playing. What do you say to this round? I mean, come on, guys. That's a lot of damage. This tower is so good. But let me actually not lose track of what we're supposed to be doing, which is that we need to get ready for... Oh, wait. Did I mess up? Okay, I hope I didn't mess up by doing that. I got a 300 sub so that we can decamo the DDT so that we can stun them with Striker Jones. And then I also got an absolute 0 ice. So let's use the ability. Let's stun these guys and let's freeze them in place. And then hopefully this is going to be... Oh, it's not enough? Okay, so a little bit of an unfortunate situation. I may have thrown the game by using all of the abilities on 98 together. So we have the same amount of money and we have the same tower. So let me just show, I'm doing this to show you guys that it's in fact possible, as long as you don't do what I just did, which is stack all abilities at once. So here's what we're gonna do. Let's use, what are we using? Actually, do we want to see if this is even possible just by not using the other stuff? But we do need to take care of some other upcoming rounds. So for example, we do need a Spike Storm. So let's actually get going with the Spike Storms, at least a little bit earlier than last time. And let's not touch anything. Let's just, I'm using the Striker level 3 abilities, and is that gonna be enough? Is that actually gonna be enough? Did I use so many unnecessary abilities that, oh my god, it's actually going to be enough? I can't believe it's only the Overclock. That's all you need for 98. That's insane. That is actually so insane. I can't even believe this thing. But yeah, that was going to be, that's 98. And so 99 is probably just going to be a Spike Storm, honestly. We have all of these abilities, so let's just Spike Storm it up. And I feel like as soon as these DDTs pop, we should be fine. And then another Spike Storm for round 100. Is this fine, though? Wait a minute. Okay, we can do this though. Okay, so here's what we can do. We can actually do the you can do this, and this. So we can do the Spike Storm with the homeland ability, and the homeland ability is going to carry over. So that's completely fine because we can still do some damage to the bat like this. And let's get another Spike Storm going. And this is going to do a ton of damage, especially when the bat moves into the middle. And now we do have the Overclock. We're going to get one more round of the homeland ability, plus we're going to get a Spike Storm. So I just want to combine them all together. So let's do it like this. Spike Storm, use the Striker Jones level 3 ability, and that should be more than enough. Honestly, let's just do the stun, and we have another type of Spike Storm if necessary, but I don't think it's going to be. I'm actually going to... I didn't get to use it, but that's what I was trying to say. I was trying to say that this is actually possible. I just might have used a lot of abilities unnecessarily around 98, but you know, it's really surprising how little this tower can do so much damage. But yeah, that's it. That's gonna be it for this one. That's a new Mortar, huge buffs all around, making the 42 a lot better than it used to be, and that's gonna be it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one.